welcome back to the channel. I've actually got both of the boys here today, which is a startling surprise, and they're both willing to help, which is wonderful. Everyone's thumbs up, aren't we?
Yep.
See, look at that, how happy we all are to be doing this. We're on a bit of a bit of a time constraint at the moment because we're planning on just getting the roof rack done at some stage, but now I'm booking a campsite in Wales for like 3 weeks' time at the start of the Easter holidays for me and the boys, just to go up and do the 4 or 5 waterfalls walk in Easterfeld. But in order to take the new tent up, I need a roof rack. So now we kind of got to get this done. So last time you saw us, we'd shown you how we're going to be putting it together, and then off camera we did. Oh, that's not the right one, is it? We did actually make our very first cut. So this is actually the front beam around the front perimeter piece. It's proper interesting stuff. You can't really see it, but we put a bracket on loosely as well. So we tapped it, put a bracket on ready to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to finish making the perimeter. So we've got one more of those to make. And then we are going to start making the side beams. So the side beams are made out of the 60-30 or 30-60, so it's the wider one. And we're going to be using the miter saw here on the floor, which I'll show you in a second. We're going to set that up first. I'm going to put the Hoover onto it as well because actually it makes a huge amount of mess. Like, it's just nasty, and it sticks to anything that's fabric. It just sticks to it.
That was just from that mess was just from cutting.
It was, yeah. That was just 2 bits.
Yeah.
It does chuck it really around. So it is well worth getting a Hoover rigged up. So I'm going to do that in a minute as well. So we're going to do that now, and then we're going to start cutting the setting this up. Sorry, and then cutting each of these beams ready to go. So we will probably do a bit of a time lapse on that one, I reckon.
Yeah.
So we'll set it up, and you'll see us doing that in a second. Okay, we want to set this up. So I have unplugged it because it's not exactly superb quality. So imagine cutting down, it's not going to get particularly straight. So what we need to try and do is get it so it is absolutely as straight as possible. So I have unplugged it. Definitely unplugged it. So what we're going to try and do now is get this down and it's lined up so that that is absolutely bang on. So never, ever, ever.
Put your hands in it.
No, never trust these little things here. Then you can see there's a little mark here that shows where 0 degrees is. And that's there. And you can see it's way off. It's like almost 2 degrees off.
That is weird.
But, putting an angle on it.
It's perfect.
That, put it against the blade itself. Like that. It is. Bang on. And that's bang on as you can get it anyway. So it is a cheap saw, so we're just going to make a couple of practice cuts for these first. So what we're going to do, we're going to mark out some of the bits first. Once we've marked out, we're going to do a couple of practice cuts, see whether we're getting it square. If we're getting it square, we'll crack on. So we've measured this out. A wonderful bit of drawing here. This is essentially, you can see that's the kind of general perimeter of the thing, and then we've got a couple of sections. So each width piece, which goes inside the perimeter of these side pieces, inside here, each of these pieces is 1240, and each of these 30-30 pieces are obviously 30 millimeters. So the total width across from there to there will be 1300 millimeters, 1.3 meters, which is about exactly what we want. So keep it nice and simple. So I'm marking out 1240 on all of these lengths. So all the middle piece, all the 30-60s, and then the front, which we've done, and then I'll do the back one at the end as well. So let's just get these. I've not done a 30-60 piece yet, so hopefully that'll cut just as easy as the 30-30 did. So we're doing them all at 1240. I'm scribing them with a little screwdriver to get as accurate as I possibly can, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah. So we've just marked it out there, so that's 1240, just a tiny little mark, and then I'll use the square to get that bang on.
Mark?
We need a bigger garage.
Yes, we do. Donations? For an extra garage? Yep. Is anyone going to donate us a garage? Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice, yeah.
Or even a field.
I'm just going to do a little mark there first, and we'll double check it. At the end. Bang on 1240, okay? So ideally we want to kind of almost chop that line off, but it doesn't really matter. So fine, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's that one. So I'm going to finish scribing it all the way across. Like that. That, I mean, that is bang on. So that angle is bang on. So it just goes to show 2 degrees out, makes it straight.
We like our bang-ons.
So that is absolutely fine.
Well, for our saw, it makes it straight. Other saws might not make it.
Yeah, we have to check your own. That's it. It's worth checking. So that one's fine. It is that angle I'm not particularly pleased with that. So that's definitely not straight. So that's the angle going. That's the angle going down. So it's coming in at a slight angle. So I reckon we're going to need to. What I'll do. Let's put it back onto there again. Like that. That looks better. Right. So here's the actual top. There's the top. So let's make sure that we haven't changed the lines.
So without the pot, it's better.
It's not that. I wanted to make sure it wasn't being lifted by the pot.
Oh.
So that's fine. That's fine. That's bang on now.
So without the pot, it's fine.
I think, yeah, so we're just going to need to just be careful with it, yeah. That's fine now. It's just enough support. Right, so we're going to try and get it absolutely bang on this time. That's the plan, and then it'll be our first one that's cut to the right size.
First fully cut one.
That's the idea anyway.
I mean,
that's perfectly square. Bang on. Bang on. Bang on. So we've got our first bit cut to size. Let's just double check that it's the right length. Thank you. That is exactly 1240. Exactly. Right.
now we just have to do the same over.
So we now got to
Two
do
more
the
times.
other 7 pieces.
Oh, God. 7 more.
Okay, all bits are cut to size, so it has made one hell of a mess. Because we've done all the cutting now, for the time being, we're now going to have a bit of a tidy up, I think, before we start actually assembling the roof rack itself. So have a quick tidy up, then we're going to come straight back to you. Yeah? Doesn't beep when it's recording. Okay, so we're now going to do the boltless connectors. So you want to have GG? So what we're going to do, we're going to, actually I'm just going to put a nice bit of something in there so it doesn't get damaged. Not that. That'll do. Thanks.
Oh, good.
No thanks.
Sorry.
So put that in there like that. We don't need doing too much with it, it just needs to hold pressure. So put the rubber cheeks on. Everyone likes the rubber cheeks. And in the end here, what we're going to be doing is putting these things in. Can you see these clearly?
Let me focus on that.
Yeah?
Yes, I can.
So these are boltless connectors. So what happens is that these will go in here and then one in that side. And what we do, we screw these in using a T, it's like T30 or something. Doesn't say. It's a big T.
Big T. So we.
That's really annoying though. I can't remember what it is. It feels like a T30 or something like that, I think. And then basically, these get threaded in. So you get it into like that point and you thread them in. It looks pretty harsh, I have to admit. When I first put it in the first time round, it felt like it was breaking these things open, but it is the right one. I actually messaged the people who sold me the things. So these go in and then the bolts will come through these and connect to a T-nut. Right. There we go. Like that. So you see that the edge there is actually a chamfered edge, and that sits alongside that chamfered edge there. Okay. So then,
Ooh, nice.
so that will then bolt through, come straight through onto a T nut this side in the perimeter piece, or into the perimeter piece that side. So we're doing both ends of each of these pieces, like that.
Those rubber sheets are very loose.
Yes. Yeah, they're magnetic, but they're not very good.
Not very strong.
So these go on.
Did you get them from?
The Draper ones. So, what we're going to be doing, Gigi, you come over here while Arlo's filming.
Yep.
Yeah, Arlo, you might want to go down that end actually.
Okie dokie.
Right, so I'm going to hold that there for me.
I'm not sure.
For the end one, got one. Oh, actually, we'll just go up to the halfway point, and then the other, we'll do the other end with that. And then we've got that way round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll push down the other end. So this one we'll do first. So I need to get the other Allen key set I've got. Hang on. Okay, we're going to start assembly now. So we've got the T-nuts in. So if you go and grab the first crossbar. Come down here for me. Come and stand there for me.
Here?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to do literally this one first. There we go, it's locked in. And there you go, it's already gripped. Well, that's awesome. Okay,
It's so easy.
do the same with the other one. Yep. There we go. So just hold it nice and straight for me, off. Like that.
Yep.
That one goes underneath. Like that.
I love the person who created this.
That one. Now these
When I
obviously,
first saw it, I was wondering how you're going to connect it. Like, is it like Lego? No.
like that. There we go.
Although rock.
There we go. So that's the first bit done. Now obviously we're not spacing these out exactly how we want them yet. So I just want them in and on so we can like slide them, basically. That's really all we're trying to do at the moment. So if we bring us along now, then bring the next one over, Oz.
Where are they?
Over there. Like that.
Oh, that's really hard to film that.
Sorry. Okay, one.
minutes. No.
Right, wiggle test.
Yep.
Good with that?
We could test everyone. 21.
Yeah, not too worried because they all need to be spaced out properly anyway. Yeah, it's not too worried. 5, 6, 7, so 14. Just make sure you're holding it up straight as possible, yeah? Get 14 bits in. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's more. There's 6.
2,
There we go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Excuse me.
12, 13, 14.
There's 18 in total.
Okie dokie. So I'm just going to slide them all in from this end.
I can feel
In
your
pairs.
cup.
1.
Do you want to film for a bit, Arlo? My hand is kind of hurting.
Your hand is hurting.
Yeah. You can see my shoes. I got very nice shoes. Three, 4, buckles and more. They look way smaller than they were before.
These are different ones, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're the small ones because we didn't have enough big ones.
1, 2, 3.
4, 4.5.
That's 4.
4. No, 3. 4.5. 5. 5.5. No, yet. 5.5. 6. 6.5. 7.
Right, so, roughly speaking, if you just kind of walk this over to me a little bit.
Oh,
Like
like
that.
that.
Like that, that's fine.
There we go.
Okay?
Yep.
Right, what I need to do is just going to gradually, just hold it flat for me, don't you worry about them.
Okay.
Okay, just hold that there. Just going to try and space this out a little bit. So where are we at? We're at there. So, 1, 2. That. Like that. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to do the 2 end ones first. We're going to do this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to plop it on. And then
That end.
probably do that end, I think. Yeah, or maybe even do the middle one or something. But we'll try and get them all poked in first.
I can't. Oh, okay.
But I need you to not be hanging down like that. And you've got to try and hold it as straight as you can. Because the more you move it, the more it's going to grind away at it and scratch it up, okay?
Yeah, that should be straight.
Right, so, might even need Eugene on this one. So if you want to pause that for the minute, we'll pick the video back up. Blimey, okay. That took a little while, but we've got Arlo's arm in the way of the camera, which is great. And we've got them all in, so both ends now, they're all in. It's roughly measured up, but none of them are super tight. We're going to get these end bits on now, and then I'm going to right angle everything to make sure it's square, and then we'll worry about these when Frank gets back, and we can actually work out where the brackets need to go on the T-track, on that kind of uni-strut rail bit. But for the time being, we're going to get the ends on, caps on, make it look a bit more pleasant, put the side handles on, and then that will be the bed done for the time being. So we're just going to crack on with that. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. End bits. and done.
Day.
There we go. Happy with that. That looks pretty good actually. Look at the caps and stuff on it.
Now.
Right. And in there somewhere is a bag. Leave it. Look at me here, look at me. Right, next to the right, that J2O bottle, there's a bag of bolts. Yeah, they're bigger bolts they are, but they're shorter. That's what I need for these.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
Like that. Right, that possibly 2 bolts.
I got one.
Cover the second bracket in each time.
Okay, fair boozy
Just
woosies.
for the time being.
Fair boozy woosies. I'm gonna go fill this up with water.
Hmm?
I'm gonna fill this up with water.
On the bolt. I've got the bag, I've got that. Oh, can you hold the roof back? Another one. Another handle.
Do the random.
Yes, right. We need to do the other handle the other side before we put these bits in because we can't slide them on otherwise. Okay, so we're going to stand this up, they go. That's handles done. Then we're going to make sure these are tapped. That one's tapped. That one is not tapped. We need to make the threads in them. Make sure you're holding it still, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, we've fret done.
Nice boy. And
Catch
my
it in there,
what?
like that.
Very nice. Now you don't hurt yourself. Oh, sticky.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because we've got traps that are going to cover these spaces up, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
Look at that. I am chuffed to bits with that.
I am bits to chuffed with that. I am chuffed to bits to chuffed.
Right, so let's bring this here. So we have finished the bed to a degree, other than the fact we are going to probably replace this top one with the one that comes in the post in a few weeks' time. We've now got the entire bed done. So all the pieces are cut to length. As you can see, all the joints are done. So we can focus on those. So we've got an external 90-degree joint that goes in threaded there and threaded there. And we've got an internal 90-degree joint, which is T-nut there and T-nut there. So that's a nice strong joint. We've got those in all 4 corners, and it also looks just slightly nicer from an external perspective. Each internal piece has got a drill-less bolt fixing here in a T-nut. So each side of the 60 is here and here. That goes in here. So none of these are actually tightened right up yet, even though they are not tightened right up. It's still really solid. I mean, it's got hardly any flex to it, bearing in mind it's not tightened up. So that's all of those. We've got 2 end 3030s, 7 internal 3060s. The end. This is the piece that's damaged, which we'll probably swap out. I don't know even anymore. Depends what it looks like, I suppose. When we're going along, if we notice it, I'll stick it at the back. But it's no biggie. If I wanted to pull it out, I'd literally loosen off each of these slightly, slide the whole pole off, put the new section on, put the handles on it, tighten it all back up again. So it's a hassle, don't get me wrong, but either way, I'm really happy with that. So I reckon that is reasonable job done. The only thing to go on it now is if this is the front, there is no top or bottom, which is quite useful actually, I suppose. There is no top or bottom. We can choose whatever we want. But what we've got to do is get this, oops, if I can pick it up, this wind deflector, that's here. That's going to need to be attached to the front of the roof rack here.
That doesn't make it stop making noise.
That stops that. Hopefully, will stop most of the noise coming up over there. It helps the airflow go over the top of the car, but I can't do that yet until really until I know exactly where it's supposed to go in the car, so I can fit it. It's got an unusual fixing to it, but again, it's not really meant for this. It's meant for is actually meant for the front runner roof rack, and mine is clearly not a front runner roof rack.
We've got an outrunner.
However, yeah, an outrunner, I think we decided to call it. It's like an out rack or a front runner. It's like mixed it up between the two. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. It's easy to manoeuvre around with the handles already. So we can pick it up and shove it across the side of the garage. And we should be able to lift it onto the car a bit easier because we've got the handles on the winner. But again, we can move them around wherever we want them. And hopefully they won't create too much noise. I got ones that were sort of hollowed out in the kind of the attempt that they didn't make too much noise. I'm reasonably pleased with that. The only other stuff we've got to do is this. And this is basically just this infill. You can't really see it. It's like this hammer-in infill. And that will go down all these sections here once we know exactly where the handles are going to go and where the front air deflector is going to go. We will put it around the outside basically just to cover up and make it look slightly bit nicer. And again, it might stop the wind noises a little bit as well. So that is the end of the bed section. So that's part 2. It's a long section, so you're gonna have a lot of time lapse in that. But it was relatively straightforward. It is absolutely all about getting those lengths right, cutting them, making sure you've set your miter saw up so it's really level. Cut it again, double check, make sure the cuts are consistent. Each one, check you've got the length right. Other than that, it really isn't rocket science. And I've come away with something that is really strong. So fingers crossed I've measured the right length. And it'll go on the car okay. But for the time being, until we get Frank back, we can't really do a great deal else. So if you could... So that is about all we're going to do today. We're going to finish there. And then the next thing we'll be doing the brackets out of the alloy angle.
And hopefully Frank will be back.
Hopefully Frank will be back and we can actually get the track actually on the car and mounted and drilled into the right place and mounted. And that will be a real change so we can start measuring things up. So that is it for the moment. If you want to keep up to date with what we're doing in this project, if you want to see what we're doing with the next thing with the brackets and everything else, please do like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that kind of stuff. And you'll be reminded as to when we do the next video. So our video creation quality is terrible. I'm not a natural presenter, so apologies for that as well. But we're trying to give you as much information as possible and showing you actually I'm not a maker. I'm a fixer normally when it comes to mechanics. So this is the first thing I've really made from scratch. And it isn't that hard if you're just patient about it, source the right materials, the right tools, you've got the right help.
Yeah.
And you can actually make it. So yeah, go out and make your own things. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Bye.